Oh, I'm finna go off. Trust, best believe, because there's an article that came out right as I was getting off of my actual job today, and it involves the actress who is playing Lois Lane in the James Gunn Superman movie. I'll probably agree with half of it, or a half of it, down to like a minuscule percentage. And what I have to talk about is Rachel Brosnahan talking about these actors and actresses who have been in superhero films from her side of the story, given the chance and the opportunity. And then when it comes out, they don't stand behind the character, not necessarily the character, they don't stand behind the film. She has some words for him. Well, since she put it out there, I got some words for you, Rachel. Let's go into this article and see exactly what she has to say. Oh my gosh, buckle up. And I understand that there's going to be differing sides on every single person who watches this video, even if it's just two of you. Rachel Brosnahan says actors should stand by their bad superhero movies. So she is literally saying, okay, this is just that is not in quotation, so this is not her words themselves. They're bad superhero movies. So this leads me to believe that you're making the qualification like, we know it's bad, but you should still stand behind it. Before we get too far into the weeds, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. And love you guys. The Superman star pushes back on actors who try to distance themselves from failed projects. Do it or don't do it, and then stand by it. Is that how you treat normal, everyday relationships in your real life? Okay, we'll go into this later. I want to get a little bit more context before I just completely take her logic and eradicate it, because there is no logic in what she's saying. Rachel Brosnahan has a message for actors who star in failed and embarrassing superhero movies. Own yo stuff. I'll wait until the 2-minute mark before I don't have to bleep anything out. The actress who plays Lois Lane in James Gunn's upcoming Superman, wait, I thought it was called Gunderman, got on the subject of actors dissing their superhero projects during a recent interview magazine chat with Amanda Seyfried. So these things have been like popping off recently, where they get actors together and they hand them questions to ask each other. And it's supposed to be like a cozy fireside chat where guys can actually talk shop and then girls can talk chick stuff. That's what these kind of things have been going on. And they've gained in popularity. And I'm not saying that there's nothing that has no value in it. There is definitely some value in it. But you also get little jewels like this where you don't know what the hell you're saying, little girl. That's the thing about these movies. You can feel it when people are doing it with passion and grace and curiosity. None of those things necessarily have to go together. But she has some buzzwords that she's going to use, to which, and this is what Seyfried said, to which Brosnahan replied, I don't know why people say yes to a project only to then turn around and complain about it. I'm going to finish this paragraph before I go into this. Look, I don't want to shit on other actors, but there was a minute where it was cool to not like superhero movies and to look back on projects like this and poo-poo them. Do it or don't do it, and then stand by it. All right, superhero movies. Oh, goodness. We should start at the front. This is so loaded. I don't know why people say yes to a project only to then turn around and complain about it. Well, let's look at Hayden Christensen in Star Wars in the prequel series. George Lucas is not a great director. He is a great visionary. He's a great storyteller. He is not a great director. I mean, everyone can say the Star Wars films that they enjoy the most were not directed by George Lucas. He doesn't know how to direct actors. Now, you also, most of the time, actors have to do multiple takes into the double digits of takes for any specific line or any specific scene. So that's all out of their hands. Once it's shot, once the gate is closed on the camera and they take that into editing, people can, the editors and the director can use whatever cut they want. And it's a lot of the times the reason why they're having to do multiple takes is because the director isn't seeing their vision out there. So they tell them to do it multiple different ways. So yes, you could be signed on to a project. You can give what you think is your best performance. The director and the editor take something completely different and put that out there, and it becomes a disheveled mismatch of stuff. And so, yeah, it's like, that's not my best performance. Why did you put that up there in front of the audience? Now I look bad, but that's not in the final say of the actor. So get out of my face with that. There's so much more to filmmaking than this, but look, I don't want to shit on other actors, but there was a minute where it was cool to not like superhero movies. When was this time? When was it cool to not like superhero movies? Because even going all the way back to the 90s, when Sam Raimi's Spider-Man came out, when Bryan Singer's X-Men came out, when Spawn came out, when was it cool to not like the superhero movies? Those were blockbusters. Spawn wasn't, but the other two were. Everyone was loving those things. Now, if you're talking about not liking superhero comics, that's a completely different thing. You're talking about nerddom and geekdom. So that was a very niche society. But as far as hitting like the zeitgeist, I keep saying that word so many times. But as far as hitting like the pop culture of it all, superhero movies, they've struggled for a little bit, but it was never cool to just not like them. And then she goes on to say, and this is the end of this one paragraph. I know this is probably going to be way too long. Do it or don't do it, and then stand by it. Why would you stand by it if you're not proud of it? Maybe you're proud of the work and the effort and the people that you met, the friendships that you made while you were doing it, but you're literally there for a job. There are many jobs where you can like the people you're working with, but are you actually proud of your work? Well, you don't have a final say so. You just have to do what is coming down from the top. Why would you stand by your work if that's not what you would want to do? Have you had it your own way? This is another question for the philosophers out there. I think this is literally just like she's trying to girl boss this entire interview. And it goes in line with everything that this new Superman movie has been doing in all of the advertisements, all of the preview trailers, all of the marketing that is going on into this. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse the more that stuff comes out. I'm leaving this paragraph and we're moving on. It's a sentiment that directors like Gunn, of course, and studios executives like Gunn, how many times are we going to say this one again, would certainly agree with. You've made this movie too. It's a team effort. Don't take the paycheck and then diss the film. However, there's a difference with this. Yes, take the paycheck because you were hired to play a role. You were also hired to listen to the director and the executive producers tell you how you should play that role. So yes, take the paycheck because you put that time and effort and energy into it. And if they fuck it up in post-production, that's not on you. There are so many different alterations of scripts, constantly reshoots, alternate scenes, behind the scenes, like deleted scenes, all this kind of stuff that goes into making a film. Do you know how many hours of film and footage there are for just a 90-minute movie, a pure 90-minute movie? There's probably 37 to about 49 hours of uncut raw footage. Why post-production takes so long to do. They have to get the best take, or at least in their mind, from every single scene. So yes, you could be taken out of context. It could be like a horrible take. Oh my goodness, these people, they're pissing me off. On the other hand, actors have a right to their own opinions about their work, and sometimes what you sign on for isn't what you end up making. No, this is completely different. Now I have to bring up Rachel Zeggiwaggy with this, because that you can be not proud of a movie that comes out and it was just chopped to shit. Whether it's the studio, whether it's the director and the editors, you can be not proud of the work you did. Yes, you're still going to cash that paycheck, of course, because you put your work into it. However, this has nothing to do with Zeggiwaggy going on and making political statements while she's supposed to be promoting this film, because you get paid for those promotions as well. So this is a completely different thing. I don't know why she's bringing this up, especially in this time, but let's see, because I only got through about 4 paragraphs of this article where I was like, I have to make a video because I'm going to roast it to hell. That's certainly been the case maybe with Dakota Johnson about Madam Web, and I actually did do a video about this recently. I had never done anything like it before. I probably will never do anything like it again because I don't make sense in that world, and I know that now. But sometimes in this industry, you sign on to something, it's one thing, and then as you're making it, it becomes a completely different thing, and you're like, wait, what? Dakota Johnson is based. I'm calling it right now. Dakota Johnson is based. But it was a real learning experience, and of course, it's not nice to be a part of something that's ripped to shreds, but I can't say that I don't understand because she saw the final cut. Now, there are a lot of cases where, yes, maybe their agent signed them on, but they literally have to sign themselves on the dotted line. Now, whether or not they're naive enough to just believe everything their agent does for them and then sign it without reading the script, most of these guys and girls actually do read the script. So they know what the vision was. But once filming starts, that vision can completely go cattywampus. Madam Web co-star Sydney Sweeney, everyone loves to talk about her, joked while hosting SNL. You might have seen me in Anyone But You or Euphoria. You definitely didn't see me in Madam Web because they frumped her up. She is basically known for her sex appeal and her tatas and like the gummy smile that she has. I'm not a huge fan of her, but I do like how she calls balls and strikes. So I do like that about her. She's not my type, but I understand why other people like her. Yeah, you didn't see her in Madam Web because they made her this frumpy little bookworm. And Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan's Batman, has criticized, no, not Christopher Nolan himself, but rather his experience making Thor Love and Thunder, where he actually had a good character. He had a good character arc, and he was just kind of like, he's pushed out because Taika Waititi was only worried about jokes and fucking around and having Chris Hemsworth naked, so you got a butt shot for the ladies. It was not in his wheelhouse. And Christian actually went on to say, who's one of the finest actors that is still alive, and like I would say in his prime of this time. He goes on in a GQ article and says the definition of it is monotony. You've got good people, you've got other actors who are far more experienced at it than me. Can you differentiate one day from the next? No, you can't. You have no idea what to do. I couldn't even differentiate one stage from the next. They kept saying you're on stage 3. Well, it's like, which one is that? The blue one. They're like, yeah, but you're on stage 7. Which one is that? The blue one. And this is what happens whenever you don't have actors. Literally, it's almost like a conversation in real life. It goes beyond the pale of what I'm doing to you. I'm talking to a camera, and one day later, you'll see it. Maybe it's today, maybe it's never, maybe it's sometime in the future. I'm not actually face to face with you. This is when a lot of people, they say, go touch grass because you're building parasocial relationships. Like, yeah, the great thing about this community is we actually do that. And actors want to do that as well. They want to act against real people because emotions change. They can change with the exact same lines in the exact same script. It's just the way that delivery comes across. It's why sometimes you read text messages that can come across as like, wow, that was pretty underhanded. It's like, that's not how I meant it. The inflection is different. If I was to say this to your face, though, you would have taken that as a joke if I had said it this way. But because it's text and there is no context with it, I don't know what the hell you mean. It could be mean. It could be blasé. It could be like absolutely hysterical. We need that face-to-face interaction because humans are social beings. Actors are the same way, even though most of them are crazy batshit. But actors are the same way. You will get your best material when you're actually doing things alongside another person. And not just blue screen, green screen. I'll just deliver my lines and leave it up to the director and the editors. This is where we're all going back to this. This is where we're all going back to whenever it comes to this stuff. Also, of course, oh my gosh, it just keeps going further. Okay, I had to stop for a second. Also, of course, because I didn't understand this last paragraph. Also, of course, Ryan Reynolds has made mocking his 2011 Green Lantern movie into an ongoing punchline because he was doing the same thing that Christian Bale was talking about. I was like, dude, we don't know what we're doing. We're kind of just like monkeys right now, and we're doing what they tell us we should do. Yeah, we're getting the paycheck, but like it's all in the hands of the directors and the editors. So we're going to end this here, basically saying that Rachel Brosnahan, the girl who's playing Lois Lane in James Gunn's movie, has she even been in that much stuff? I don't know. She seems like a complete fucking dumbass. And I thought she was a decent casting, at least from the little bit that we saw in the trailers. I was like, okay, that could fit Lois Lane. But apparently, behind the scenes, they can't do anything except put their foots in their own mouth, their feet in their own mouth, just like I do on a daily basis, except I'm not scripted. They are scripted, and it is edited. It's edited to hell. And why is she complaining that people are unhappy because they put in so much work only to get left on the cutting room floor? Oh my gosh. This is way longer than I wanted to go, but this is Multi. If you have anything to say, leave it down in the comment section below. Please subscribe if you like what you see here. These are some of the rants that I go on sometimes when something really irritates me. Multi from Mouth of Multi. We love you guys. Appreciate y'all coming out, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.